Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the restorative convo I had with Jessica in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that one, feel free to pause this now, go back and come back and join us, listen to this, then listen to that and see what we got right. Whatever you want to do.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe listen to the whole of both, though.
A listen to this, a listen to that.
Because otherwise it doesn't make sense if you listen to like one half of this and the one half of that. I mean, maybe...
Yeah, you just mash them up.
I guess you could do like the last half of this and the last half of that and the first... That would be boring. You wouldn't know anything. Just do it. Listen to them both. Anyways, okay, y'all.
Happy birthday, Lesley! The big 4-0.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I finally get to wear my Bee and the Fox. It took me 40 years to look this good shirt.
Yeah, today is the day.
Today is the day. Yes, I am an Aquarius. And I know that you probably should know that if you didn't know that already. Some people already can tell and some people know, because I think I'm pretty good at not sounding like an Aquarius, and then I don't know where my keys are, but I can tell you where I put your keys sometimes. Anyways, it is my birthday. Thank you all so very much. It is also what probably started the big controversy in my parents' marriage of why my name is my name, and and why my mother sometimes still suggests I can change it if I want to.
Well, I like your name. I'm glad your name is your name.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a good one. Everyone, you know what I will say about my name is my clients, when they wrote checks, because that's how long I've been teaching Pilates, but back in the day when I took checks in my studio, I had these clients who were like, I just love writing your name while they're writing this check. I'm like, that's great. If you
keep loving doing that.
You keep loving writing my name on that check. Anyways, you know, it's my birthday, but more importantly, there's some fun things happening over at OPC.
Yeah, we're celebrating over there. We got a big 40% off a whole bunch of things for the big 4-0.
That's so cool.
Celebration.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So go do that.
Yeah, just go over to onlinepilatesclasses.com and it'll be right there on the homepage.
Wonderful. Well, and also listen to some ads, because there was one other thing I was hoping we were also doing for my birthday, but you didn't mention it, so now I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Are we doing 40 days for $40?
Oh, yeah. It's just the whole 40s thing.
Oh,
40 of everything.
Okay.
So 40.
So there's a lot of things happening with
there's things available.
Yeah, multiple things available with 40 somewhere with a % or a $sign next to it. So go have fun over at onlinepilatesclasses.com. Okay. Then this is like actually there's like literally 3 days, not even. If you are listening to this the day it drops, hi. I love that you're on top of it.
Yeah. Pay attention.
But get on over to profitablepilates.com/mini if you have not done it with us before and you would like us to coach you on your business, because we kick off on Sunday.
Yep.
The doors close. We don't let you in. Do not beg me on Monday. It'll just feel overwhelmed. We don't do it. You got to sign up.
Get in. Don't wait today. Just go over to profitablepilates.com/mini. If you don't have any idea what we're talking about, Lesley and I run a coaching program. This is a week-long experience of our ongoing coaching program. We're going to help you clarify your business offerings, and it's going to change the way you look at your business. It is going to make things so much more fun.
Yeah.
You're going to have permission to say, sorry, I don't, maybe I'm not the right teacher for you, but I can introduce you to someone else who is, because you know who you're for, why you're doing what you're doing, what you should be charging, all the things.
We had one of our pro members, Sarah Wynn, today, It said, I had my boundaries tested 3 times this week.
Wow.
Each time got harder and harder to uphold them, but I upheld them, and I'm so grateful because I cannot teach that late. I cannot teach that early, and I cannot teach on my day off.
Amazing.
And, like that, and she can do that because she knows and trusts that she's training her clients how to treat her, when to show up, how to treat themselves, how to protect their own schedule.
She knows her numbers,
Yeah.
whether or not she actually needs to take those sessions, or if it's just like that big question mark of, am I making enough money? I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's amazing.
So, and if you're not a fitness instructor, share it with a fitness instructor, because they could use some help.
Yeah. ProfitablePilates.com/mini.
Okay, before we get into Jessica Brothers, what is our audience question?
I love this question. Ask this anytime. When is your next retreat?
Yeah, so I got this question from someone who was visiting our friend Joel, actually.
Oh,
And,
cool.
Yeah, and so, our retreat came up. And when is it? And I said, it is actually coming up, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, October 8th through the 13th of 2023. That is this year, October 8th through the 13th. I am so excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're only doing one Cambodia retreat this year. We're not doing any other retreats this year. This is the only retreat we're doing.
We're not doing a business retreat in Vegas. We did 2 of those last year. We do 2 trips to Cambodia, but this year we are only doing 1.
Yeah.
And so you're more than welcome to join us. There is limited room, so don't wait on this. But
the doors are open. You can sign up now.
Yeah, just go to lesleylogan.co/retreat.
Yeah.
lesleylogan.co/retreat, and you can see all about it. You can see the rates and all the stuff. If you are always wanted to go, but it's going to take your family vacation time, we have had many spouses join who don't do Pilates. They just want to go for the experience. We are offering that as well. So there's all the things. You can totally come with your partner and have an amazing time and enjoy the experience. And you can do the workshops and the Pilates and the meditation and the things like that, where if that's not their jam, that's okay.
Yeah, we got an option for them, and they can go off and do a cooking class or get a massage or something like that. So It's a lot of fun. So you'll definitely, if you're like, I'm going to wait for the next one, you're waiting till 2024.
Right. So don't wait. lesleylogan.co/retreat. Okay, now let's talk about Jessica Brothers. On a mission to help heal the world, Jessica is an epigenetics specialist. And I had to look that up because I was like, what is that word? She's a best-selling author and a business owner working to reverse chronic diseases. She's a passionate advocate that through food and fueling your body correctly, you can change your health path, and it will literally create life-changing results.
Mm-hmm. I love bringing in different health experts, and because the reality is that if your hormones are off, you can't feel awesome. You might not, there are reasons why you could feel depressed or unmotivated or literally not be able to believe in yourself. It's not all just in your mind. It could also be in your blood. So it's really important to me that we don't just give you stories of inspiration or strategies for making more money or achieving your goals, but also you only got this one body, and for you to do those things, you got to take it with you, and it has to be optimal. So I'm excited for the. I'm so glad we got to do this interview.
Yeah. So let's dig into epigenetics. So epigenetics or epigenetics, genes. It's all about your genes. Epigenetics. Specifically, it's how your genes express and communicate. And if they are not communicating inside of your body properly, things begin to break down, right? And then we get symptoms, right? So think of it, this is a great example. I grew up, my mentor when I was in my teens was a chiropractor, and he specifically focused on the spinal column and mostly on the neck. And what he said over and over again was, it's very simple. Your brain is sending messages to your body, and if the messages are blocked because your spine is not allowing them to flow because it's out of whack, you need to get the spine back in in the correct place so that the nerves aren't pinched, the messages are able to send properly, and it'll send these messages to your body where it's supposed to be. And this is also basically in that same vein. When your body is functioning properly, it allows you to stay healthy, stay at peak performance, all of these kinds of things. And she was talking about big and small stuff. I mean, everything from like, why is your hand itching or hurting maybe, or your shoulder or whatever, all the way to like Parkinson's disease, and it all comes down to epigenetics and how your genes are communicating and what they're expressing. If your brain is sending signals, but those signals are being blocked, somewhere is supposed to receive a signal. And if that signal isn't being received there, what's that part of your body going to do? Who knows? And that's why we end up with weird things.
Deconditions. I mean, like, that's just what happens. It's like, just like a simple thing is like, if you always stand on the outside of your foot, the muscles on the other side are not actually getting worked. And that changes how you walk, which changes how you work with your knees. It changes how you work with your hips. It changes how things feel in your back. And then that changes how much you move eventually over time, which so like it just, that's on a physical level and she's on a genetic level. So it's the exact same thing that's happening.
Yeah. She said also how we feel stress, how we react to stress also depends on how healthy our genes are. And then she said there are three main things, right? There's internal, external, and environmental. Internal is like the food. What are you putting into your body, right? So obviously eating healthy. Secondly is the external, like the skincare, creams, sprays, dyes, anything that has to do with what we're putting on our body. And then the third thing is environmental choices. And typically, my understanding from the conversation is your environment creates stress. So, and then she said,
also, like, I mean, there's just, if your walls have mold.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? Like, there's also those kinds of things. And the externals, I think that I want to just like jump in real quick because I think it can be really easy to go, okay, well, I don't actually do a lot of these things. Your shampoo could be fucking you up, and like your lotions. And that's why, like, one, we have like a very vegan, thank you, Australia, for this amazing non-chemical deodorant that we actually, it's not even a deodorant. It just like keeps us from smelling. But my friends in Australia, I was like, I need some. And they're like, we actually went through the whole thing to find one because
it's a deodorant, not an antiperspirant.
Yes, that's right. And then, but when I started going down in my health thing, Chris Talley, who I worked with, he actually worked with whole teams whose like entire performance was, they were still great players, but they were actually not doing what they were expecting them to do. Yep. And he looked at all their blood and goes, yeah, y'all have something going on in that locker room. And so went into the environment for which they work and found all these shampoos and all these soaps and all these lotions that were literally causing them to have too much estrogen in their body, which was slowing them down and changing their coordination.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So
there are a lot of things that you can control in this. But also, just like we were talking about in our last conversation, space and grace here. You cannot control everything. Okay, so you want to, but just to be conscious and intentional about the things that you're putting into your body, the things you're putting on your body, the environments that you're in.
Yeah, this is where if you become too perfectionisty about this, you are going to be living in a cave with, like, I know, it's like I as someone who's been on a
cave that gets lots of sunlight.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I think it's easy to go too extreme with this, and you end up not being able to eat out with friends,
or just
go
enjoy
to people's
life,
house, or just enjoy life. So I loved how she pointed out, like, I am drinking out of this water bottle, but I don't do these other things. And like, that's just like what we have to give ourselves some space and grace on, for sure.
Yeah. So what was one of the, I mean, now that we've kind of covered epigenetics, like what's one of the things that you loved about what she said?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm really excited about with her and what she does, and like with the other people we've had, like Dr. Bender on and things like that, is like there are other ways, like there are ways to help take care of like what, like you don't have to go, oh, I'm unhealthy, so that's my lot in life. Like we can actually support this and change course. And one of the easiest ways is to use supplements to assist. And she likes to do this because she can make it an easy catalyst for making your body want to make better choices. And like Chris had me do this. And so I totally understood what she was talking about, which is like, I'm not on all the supplements that he put me on the first time I had to go work with him. But he said, go on these now so your body can actually start to make these things or you crave these things. And so what's really cool is like, if you work with Jessica or someone similar to her, it's not like not every single supplement is for life. Like, oh my God, I'm taking these for life. Ideally, it's to help you experience change quickly, so that you can start to live more optimally, start to have more energy, start to feel good, and then you start to make better changes because of that.
Well, also, it also can be what, like in your specific case, to effectively restart your body producing those things because it stopped. It forgot how. And because, for whatever reason, I know like 10 years of trial and error of all the things. I mean, I think something that everybody's heard about is like, if you stop drinking milk after a while, you're going to have a hard time processing milk. If you stop eating meat after a while, you'll have a hard time processing meat. It's the same thing, but like it can be in some pretty vital things like digestion, right? The amount of stress that was happening in your body was actually blocking your body from producing enzymes that would break down food. Yeah. So taking supplements helped your body remember, oh yeah, I got to do this. Yeah. Right. And so you don't need to remind your body for the rest of your life. You just have to kickstart everything to get it back and going again. And that kickstart took a couple years, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, and that's to be expected. It's like any change, even in recovering from a relationship, however long you're in that relationship, just so you know, you don't just recover in 3 days if it was like a 10-year relationship. So like, it's the same thing with your body. They work the same way. And I think the guessing game is what you don't want to do. You definitely want to work with someone like Jessica. And that was her whole thing, is like, educate yourself, find someone you trust, find someone who aligns with you, who gets results, ask like for testimonials, and then go down the course. And Amy says this all the time, try not to have 7 people that you're getting advice from, because you're not going to know what's working and what's not working. Like really, truly do the research and then stay the course, and it might... And then advocate for yourself, like we've talked about in other episodes. Like if it's not working, you don't feel like it's working, ask questions. But y'all, like if you've ever felt sick, do you make the best choices for your day that day? Like not really. You're like, well,
yeah, like, probably not.
Like, I'll tell you, if I was hungover, when I was hungover at 23, I wasn't exactly picking the most healthy salad for that day. I was like, let's bring on the Del Taco. Actually, Taco Bell, Crunchwrap Supreme, and Cinnamon Twist. That was like why I can't eat gluten and dairy anymore.
Well, I think you said something that's really important is with Chris and also with Jessica, the way they approach this is scientific. Yeah. It's from a genetic, like she's specifically talking about genes. I know Chris really focuses on the blood work as well. And, so Jessica said, your journey to a healthier life begins with a cheek swab. Mm-hmm. You just swab, drop it in the tube, mail it off, and then the lab brings back these results, and then she can analyze the results and help you understand what your body needs and how it can, how to put yourself back onto this path of optimal health. And that really does take away the guesswork. Yeah. It's not this like, I don't know, maybe I'll do a FODMAP diet now. Maybe I'll do the elimination diet now. Maybe I don't know. Like, I mean, we were guessing for fucking years. It was like, it made my mind melt.
The doctors were guessing too. And so it literally, we were going crazy. It was really stressful. Like it was just anyone asking me what I wanted to eat caused so much stress. Yeah. And that was just making things worse and exacerbating the problem. And so, once we actually use science, thank God for that. It was like, oh, I can have all of these things. Right. We can cook with that. Oh, I just have to take these 7 acid pills so that I can break down the food. And then it became 6 and 5 and 4. And so you guys don't guess with this. Yeah. Yes, it is an investment. So maybe you have to spend some time like saving up, but like your body is not something you want to guess at. There's other things to guess at in life.
I mean, Jessica talked about that too. She said, okay, eating healthy is expensive. Try being sick.
Yeah.
You know, like seriously, the way that we,
especially if you're in the States, you're paying for that.
You're paying for it out of your own pocket, most likely. You know, this kind of thing, unless you have like disease, it's probably, this is more considered quote unquote preventative and not like something that your insurance company would cover, you know. So, you know, if you get sick, anyway, it is so important to focus on this stuff before you need it.
Yeah.
You know, I guess let me go back and say that again. I have no idea whatever the insurance companies will and won't cover. We just know that healthcare is more expensive here in the United States, for sure. But while this may feel expensive up front, it is going to save you a lot of time and money down the road, you know, because you're able to get ahead of stuff like this. I mean, some of the stuff is like, we don't even question the idea of a prostate exam or a mammogram. Like, why would we not? Like, we can do something that is relatively innocuous now to prevent something happening down the road. Well, this is no different. This is just what you're eating, what you should be consuming. And it may be as simple as, hey, let's get you on some of these supplements today so that your body has the balance that it needs as you go.
Well, and also just like one final thought on this, y'all, I have made more money in my life now that I'm not sick. It was so hard for me to say yes to things, to create programs, to agree to take on projects I knew I would need energy for that I didn't have. Like, I could not entertain extra stuff on my plate because everything I was like, how am I going to feel? I don't feel very good. I can't do that. Like, my life, literally, like if I kept going the way I was going, you would not be listening to this podcast. We would not have OPC. Profit Applies probably would not be celebrating Agency's 5th birthday, which somehow we definitely missed in episode 168 celebrating.
Oh, right.
So Agency is fucking 5, and it would not even exist because 5 years ago, I definitely wasn't feeling able to lead others in that capacity. I wanted to.
I mean,
but I couldn't lead them in a mass.
The thing that was jaw-dropping to me was when you sat down with, you know, the doc, Chris. He said, you have almost no vitamin B. You, according to the science, you should be suicidal. And that was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I had no vitamin D and vitamin B. So I had nothing that would make someone happy or have energy at all. And also he said he's surprised that I was actually like able to even work out.
Right.
So I was definitely just taxing my body, trying to make it do what my job was, which was to teach people and train people and work out. And
well, also I think the forcing yourself to work out was kicking in the endorphins that were keeping you, you know, in a positive place.
Yeah.
For the most part, you know, but you know,
other end, there was damage from that as well because I was just really taxing. There was stuff wrong with my cells. Like
but it's also not sustainable to do that.
No.
Like, you know, you can only do that for so long until you can't work out that way anymore.
I forget what one of the things was, but it improved the next year, which was like literally my veins were showing signs of like aging.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because so the guessing game doesn't work. Whether you reach out to Jessica or you find someone like her, y'all, please like advocate for yourself, give yourself permission to take care of yourself. And this is not, I know that this can sound indulgent or luxurious. And like, trust me, when we paid for my first test, that was a credit card.
Yeah.
Like that was not money I had in the bank. But I'm telling you, and then the supplements also on a credit card. But what ended up happening is I was able to actually take this one massive issue off my plate and have energy where I can go, if actually I can actually take on 2 more clients, and that is $1,000 extra a month.
Yep.
So within 6 months, I paid all of that off, and I was making profit, and then I was able to think about Agency and OPC and all those things. I was like, I'm unstoppable now. So anyways.
Yes, you are, babe.
Get yourself checked out. Stop asking your friends what they're eating. Just find out what you're supposed to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. All right. Well, yeah, I mean I just to wrap this up from my perspective, I'm so fucking glad we did that. And it was a lot of money, but it was it was so worth it in every possible way. And, I'm because I know that you are in a way better place physically and mentally, because it took away the fear. It took away the guessing game. It took away the, just the stigma of I'm going to be sick and defining your entire life by that. And all of that mess, some of that stuff still comes up every once in a while, of course, but there's no longer living in fear.
Yeah.
So, wow. All right. So finally, let's talk about those be it action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Jessica Brothers? She gave us 2, and I'm going to jump into one that is actually just like something straight up you can be doing right away. She talked about briefly about the importance of sea salt in your diet, or actually she said she does it. She didn't actually explain why, but obviously your body needs salt. She said sea salt in the morning in your 20 to 24 ounces of water. Grab one of those like pink Himalayan sea salt little grinder thingies, and she said 20 turns of the Himalayan sea salt, or roughly a teaspoon and a half, and then shake the water and the salt together, and get your morning going, and that's a positive thing that you can be putting into your body.
If that applies to you, the cheapest thing you could actually do. Like we drink AG1 in the morning. This would be like literally pennies, not like a half a penny.
Yeah.
But and here's the thing. Because I was into this thing with my dad with salt, and he's 70, so obviously things apply to different people at different stages in their life. So, but y'all hear how much water you're supposed to drink, or you're like so focused on drinking water. Electrolytes is actually salt, and really, it's really what it is. Like if you drink too much water without having salt in your diet, you drown your brain. It's called hyponatremia. I wrote a paper on it. So, because there was like a whole thing on like what's too much of a good thing. And
I'm super impressed by you right now.
I know. And they talked about like cyclists, like if they were just to drink water when they're out riding their bike, or runners, if you were only just to drink water, you would actually end up getting sick and possibly drowning your brain. And the reason is because you're sweating.
Right.
And so you need to replace. And if you've ever tasted your sweat, it's salty. So you have to replace that so that you don't end up with like just saturating yourself without having anything that balances out.
Well, I always am a fan of the why behind the what. So thanks for that. What did you love?
Here for the fun facts. Okay, so my favorite action item: create a morning routine for you. And she has begun with salt water, but you can have like fill your own cup. Do what you are doing. Do what you're doing for you, not anyone else. It must make you happy. These are her 3 points with that. So here, this kind of goes back into like the morning routine from Alan's episode 168, but like has to like make sure that what's in your morning routine fills your soul. It's really important that whatever is in your routine, you're not doing to impress anybody else. And I think that especially in the month of January, people have a lot of goals for the new year. And it's like, here's all the things that I'm wanting to do. And if they're to keep up with your friends, or because your friends did it and they look a certain way, or they act a certain way, or they have something you want to have,
right?
If it doesn't fit with the science of what you need and you're not doing it for you, it's not sustainable. That is a big reason why people don't achieve their goals, is that often the goals they set are not for themselves. So make sure that part of your morning routine is for you and not for anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think you nailed that there. So
thank you.
I got nothing to add.
Well, thank you, Jessica, for being here. I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Kroll.
How are you going to use these tips in your life? What are they inspiring you to do? Once again, we're so grateful for you. Thank you so much for being here, for being part of this community, for your amazing questions. You can keep sending them in to the Beit Pod on Instagram, or you can email us at beitpod. What do they email us? Beitpod.
At beit at bloompods.net.
beit@bloompods.net. Wow, this is why I have a team. And I hope to hear from you all soon.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Beit Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of As the Crows Fly Media.
It's written, produced, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Kroll. Our associate producer is Amanda Fraterelli.
Kevin Perez at Diseño handles all of our audio editing.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to our designer Jairo Mandal for creating all of our visuals, which you can't see because this is a podcast, and our digital producer Jay Pedroso for editing all the video each week so you can.
And to Angelina Herrico for transcribing each of our episodes so you can find them on our website. And finally, to Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time.